Hello. Thank you for watching this video, or at least starting to. I'm going to show you guys how to do stir fry. Let's get into it. First thing you need is your meat. Alright, so I'm going to use chicken. Easiest thing to do is chicken. Probably use chicken. Somebody else trying to stir fry, and I guess their house got on fire, so they didn't watch this video. Anyway, my chicken is frozen, so I'm going to be doing something called adulting. And I'm gonna defrost it in the microwave. All right, so when you're measuring out the chicken, that was one. We're gonna go 2 and 3 because I have 3 people I'm cooking for. And what you're gonna do is basically look, measure it out that way. You're gonna put it in the microwave, and most microwave have a defrost option. It goes by weight, so I'm just gonna do 3 for 3 pounds. So 3.0, 3.0, and then it does the timer. So here's the squad using onion powder, pepper, garlic powder. I'm gonna use some vegetable oil. You don't have to use vegetable oil, but this one I have. 3 eggs and half onion, not really, and some frozen stir-fry vegetables. I wasn't aware that these vegetables had bamboo shoots in them, so there's that. Anyway, cracking an egg, one hand, that easy. Let's slow that down for you real quick. Second egg, gonna slow it down for you. It's really simple actually. You just have to sever it in the middle, so you can pull its head off. So you pinch with the 2 top fingers and you just rip its head off, and then its guts spill out. If that's too graphic for you, I'm sorry. Third egg, I just wanted to show you guys again, quick motion, boom. Practice, practice, practice makes perfect eggs. Next up, we're gonna stir it. All right, so first I'm gonna pop the yolk because, I don't know, that's what I was taught to do. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a stir, a little bit faster, alternating direction. And when you notice, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna go from stirring it top down to start doing kind of this folding action. Look at the wrist. And as I fold it, it's gonna come together. Notice how I'm folding it even more and just folding it on itself. All right, and that's how you whip up them eggs. You can put those aside. Sometimes you can put milk in there if you want to fluff them up. That's what some people do. But yeah, onto the water, because we're gonna boil our noodles. You want to make sure that you have a lot of water, kind of like you're, cooking noodles, depending on how many noodles you have. You have to pee, don't you? Anyway, you're going to go ahead and put that on the stove, get that going, turn it. I got a fire stove, that's great. Electric stoves aren't bad, but fires cook faster. Get that to boiling. It's boiling now. That was instant. And then you put your ramen inside of it. And yeah, we're making stir fry with ramen, by the way. I'm using ramen noodles, Maruchan ramen noodles, the best kind. So put 3 I'm cooking. I do 1 per person again, just measuring out that way. You may not need to as you excess more than 1 person excess. I'm gonna say exceed. There we go. More than 1 person. Go ahead and stand the noodles up. Make sure they're standing up, right? Because when they start to loosen up, it'll be easier for them to do this right here. So I actually left for a while, and my noodles got perfectly ready in the timing that I left. I don't know how much time that is though. But you just want them not to be a little firm, because they're gonna get in that oil and the seasoning and the chicken and the juices in there, and it's gonna loosen them up some more. So you don't want soggy noodles to get in even more soggy. But you can turn that off, and I drained it. There's no water in there now, but I didn't have the opportunity to, one hand with the phone, drain it, steam. So we're putting about a teaspoon or a capful of oil, and then we're gonna mix it. That's gonna keep it from sticking completely together, so that you don't have little bits. Because if it sticks together, then you put it in your, chicken and everything, try to mix it all together, it's gonna break apart and be little pieces. This will at least keep us some bigger pieces that we can grab with the noodle, and it won't feel like you're eating rice. All right, half an onion. You can cut yours in half. I'm actually gonna use half of a half, so quarter of an onion. Yeah. I'm demonstrating here a culinary technique to curl the fingers back when you're cutting onion or anything, tomato, whatever, is you cut the whole thing. I am not going to use that technique. Why? Because my name is Kelly Jackson, and that's just what I do. So anyway, I recommend curl your fingers back so you don't cut them. I'm gonna cut off a little piece here. You don't have to do this. I'm also kind of thinking, why did I do this? Why didn't I just cut the whole quarter of the onion off and show you guys the rest of it? But whatever. What you're gonna end up doing is cutting it, slicing it up, but we don't want to make small dices. We want to make them bigger chunks because we want to have our onion when it gets softer. We want to make sure that we're able to, grab it and eat it, because, man, onions are good, And what you saw me do earlier was peel off that top layer. We don't want none of that, because when that gets peeled off, when that's cooked and you eat it, it's kind of like a film of tape is on your mouth. It's really gross. And so yeah, there you have it with the onion. I'm gonna chop up the rest of this, and we'll set that to the side, and then we'll get ready for our chicken. Okay. So we're gonna get our chicken, and I always try to keep chicken from like dripping everywhere, because then you have to clean up more, and germs, all that stuff. But I'm just gonna use a fork as well. Some people can use gloves. I never put your hand on chicken. That's just gross, and there's no reason for all that. I think you have to do extra hand washing. I'm gonna use a fork and cut this bad boy up like it's a New York sirloin steak. Sirloin? The little round one. I think that's sirloin. Anyway, we're gonna make thin slices. Basically because what we're gonna do later is chop them up into little rectangles or cubes. However you want to do it. It doesn't necessarily matter that much. It just matters that you cut it down to a chewable size, because if you don't cut it down to a chewable size, it's going to be really annoying to stir fry as well as to eat, because chicken can get chewy real quick. And so the smaller it is, then the easier it is to chew and eat, and therefore to enjoy. So slicing it up, I'm going to go ahead and cut these even smaller. After I do that, I'm just gonna do a step forward. I'm not gonna show you guys all of that because that's kind of pointless. So you can pause the video here if you want, so you can keep up. I know I've been kind of jumping ahead of you. You're probably still boiling the water for all I know. Just kidding. There's my wonderful daughter, I think, and my son. Yes, don't disregard them. They're in the background. I'm trying to hide them away because I don't want you guys to get a close glimpse of what they look like. So yeah, this is awkward because I just realized you could. Anyway, so what we're gonna do here is pour our chicken. Now you can put your chicken in a bowl or in a bag. I recommend a Ziploc bag because then you can put all your seasoning and sauces in. You can squeeze it and feel it in mixing. But I'm gonna do a bowl because I want you guys to be able to see how beautifully I cut the chicken, as well as how much seasoning to add in and all that stuff. So get the extra juice. I'm gonna put that right in the sink, and then I'm going to cross-contaminate. Yep, watch it. Here we go. Rinse off because cold water is enough to get the juice off. Tap it on the bowl, and then put it on the counter. That's how I do things. Anyway, onto the seasoning. I'm gonna cover the bowl, so I'm just gonna cover it up. That's probably a tablespoon and a half of onion powder. That's a lot. I'm gonna do pepper, probably 2 teaspoons. If I'm guessing. But basically, I'm just covering the entire, surface area with the seasoning. Garlic, I'm heavy-handed, but I'm quick with it. So it's probably like a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, maybe 1 tablespoon. Oil is easy. The cap is a fair measurement. So we're doing a little bit of that because our soy sauce is going to add in all of the moisture that we need for this chicken. Not to mention the chicken juice that's already in there. So I got this wonderful special. Actually, I don't have it. It's just in the house. Anyway, it's a mushroom based soy sauce. And the thing I like about this is it's thicker. So it's more like a marinade, and it's going to stick to the chicken. Therefore, I won't have to use that much when I'm actually cooking. So typically you'd use some type of off-brand watery soy sauce, and I put that in there too because I don't want it all to be the marinade, but typically that's what you have to do, and I would recommend pouring that in when you're cooking. So here we go. We are now stepping into the place of mixing it all together. You want to make sure everybody meet and greet gets nice and touchy-feely. Just all together, make sure it's all mixed, make sure all the chicken has all the seasoning on it, make sure there's nobody left out. We don't want anybody left out. So once that's good to go, I'm going to set that over to the side. Okay, and actually I'm going to stir it a little more. And now, guys, this is our homies. All right, these are the homies that's ready for the stir fry. We're about to mingle all these guys all together inside this pan. That's right, they're all going to come together and make our stir fry. So I'm gonna start with oil first. Put that bad boy in there. Probably a capful is good enough, but just make sure you get all of it out. Gotta make sure every last drop is out of the cap. That way it doesn't slide on the side, and you don't have to pour any more. Then what we're gonna do, guys, is something really fun. Okay, so we're gonna start off. What I like to start off with is the onion. So I get the gas going, or the fire going. You have electric stoves, you just turn it on high. I guess Yeah, just turn it on high. Anyway, you're gonna start with I'm just kidding. I said onions, but I meant eggs, and that's right. So I'm gonna stir up the eggs one more time because they've been sitting for a while, and we're gonna cook these eggs. I'm gonna fluff them up and put them in the exact same bowl. So you want to make sure you scrape all the egg juices out, because what that's gonna do for us is get our eggs set aside. We're gonna put those last so they maintain their color. A long time ago, I did stir fry for the first time, and I put the eggs in with all the stuff, and my eggs disappeared. And I was like, how do they make it so pretty when I go to a Chinese restaurant? Like, I don't understand. Like, my eggs are non-existent. I mean, I know they're in there, but they're like coating the noodles. Anyway, my daughter was there, so I wanted to stop that. I had to help her with something I don't remember right now. But yeah, so my eggs are now cooked and nice and fluffy. And you want to stop them. Like, don't just fry the eggs. Like, take them off before they get fully cooked, because that way you can, yeah, you can have fluffy eggs and they're not all burnt. Next thing I'm gonna do is do our vegetables. All right, so I got my frozen vegetables. I'm gonna put some oil in there first again, because the egg soaked up all that last oil, and I don't want the vegetables to stick to the pan, even though this kind of looks like a non-stick pan, but whatever. Same thing, cap full of oil, pour it in there. Don't need to make sure it drips all the way, I guess. And gonna start with the onions. Now, I made a fatal error because I washed this pan out a little bit, I think, and I had the water in there, so I gotta block the popping, because oil and water and fire, it's a battle. All right, so fight back the oil and water. If you made this mistake, it's okay. I did too. If you didn't, then you're a pro. Good job. But it'll simmer down for a while, and you can go ahead and put in your frozen veggies. All right, so I'm grabbing that same knife I was using before that I'm pretty sure I didn't wash, and just dumping it in there. Oh, just kidding. It wasn't ready to come out. Got to open it up a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and dump it in now. Yep, there we go. Hey, and the party has started. This is where I realized, like, man, something smells funny, and it has bamboo shoots in it. It's okay to have bamboo shoots if you like that flavor and that taste. If you don't know what bamboo shoots taste like, I suggest that you try it before you go off of my biased opinion. I don't like it. But with our vegetables, we're going to throw in soy sauce, because our vegetables are going to be the thing that soaks up all of the good flavoring. Okay, but it's going to soak it up and make it like disappear. But because we want to make sure that it doesn't do that, we are going to go ahead and soy sauce it up first, let it sit, marinate for a while, get that last piece I was trying to escape back in there, and let them chill. So you're just chilling, waiting for your vegetables to de-thaw. You're probably kind of hungry. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're like me. You actually drink a lot of water until you're not hungry. I refilled this bottle, so don't think I'm lying. I'm not lying. But you wait there. You can sit there and just watch it if you want. That's fine. You can also walk around, go do some other things if you want. But every now and then you want to come back and just check on it. Just check on it. Make sure it's okay. Make sure they're not like burning or like And it shouldn't be on high anymore. Sorry, if you still have it on high, like you've caught up by now, you shouldn't have it on high anymore. It should be definitely not on high. Medium low if you have an extra large. I mean, extra large. Jeez, help me. If you have a electric stove, medium low is probably good. Don't want it to burn. Maybe medium. I don't know. Depends on the power of your stove. So you walk around, you pretend to go do other stuff, and then you come back and check it. And now we're ready. So we scooped all the vegetables out, put them to the side, and now we're going to start over again with the oil. You're like, geez, man, we use a lot of oil. Yes, stir fry uses a lot of oil. If you didn't know that, you know it now. This is also another time that I made the mistake of having water and oil inside the pan. So just be careful with that. Don't have water in there, because the oil is going to get on you, and the oil is going to get with the water, and the heat's going to be like, yo, it's time to turn up, and they're going to start popping on you. So don't make that mistake. So I'm mixing it around because I want to get the oil evenly distributed. It just popped me. There it was, guys. There it was. Oil jumped out of my arm. Anyway, now it's time for the chicken. Okay, so you're looking at this chicken, you're like, bro, that actually looks like teriyaki chicken. It's not, but you're like, yo, it looks like it's already cooked. How am I gonna tell when it's done? Well, this is a cool thing. When you're putting it in there, you can tell by the texture that it is not cooked. Like, you can tell by the way it feels. Like, you can't tell by looking at this video, but hopefully, when you get to this step, if you're at this step, then you could tell, like, oh yeah, this is definitely not cooked. So we're gonna let that simmer for a little bit, and it should be on medium. Like, your cooking should be on medium, because we don't want it to take forever, but we want it to actually cook. And so you're gonna check it every once in a while. Make sure you stir it up, mix it up, because you got to make sure both sides of the chicken cook. You don't want it to cook one side. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the spatula through it. If it cuts right through, then it's definitely ready. Like, if it doesn't cut right through, it's still like cutting through a gummy or something, then it's not ready at all. Now that we're done with our chicken, I'm gonna put the vegetables in there first. All right, veggies is going in first. Boom, boom, boom. Veggies and onions, all of it. Well, I guess onions are veggies, but anyway, all going up in there. They're gonna mix and mingle for a little bit because you want to make sure you get the veggies in there before you put the noodles in there, because again, the vegetables take a lot of the flavoring out. And so when you put the vegetables in there first, they get overwhelmed with the chicken flavor and the soy sauce and all the seasoning, and their power to take away anything is gone, completely gone. That is my lovely wife. She didn't know I was recording at this moment in time. I guess she just thought I was cooking. But here we go. We're going to let that do its thing, and keep on checking it. Keep on checking it. My wife says peace and what's up. So now, demonstrating a little hand stirring. If you want to do it that way, you don't have to. You can use chopsticks. But you basically want to kind of loosen it up because it did get sticky. But again, the oil prevented it from getting completely stuck together. And you want to stick that, you want to shake it up, get it back loose, because when we put it in here, we're going to want it to, again, mix and mingle with everything. We want the chicken to go in between all the noodles, and the noodles to go in between all the vegetables, and the vegetables to go in between all the chicken and noodles. And everybody to be touching one another in agreement that this is going to be the best stir fry that you ever had. So you mix that up and you throw that in there. Yep. Okay, you don't throw it in there. You just drop it in there lightly. And as you drop it in there lightly, some will spill on the side, and that's okay. You may be thinking, wow, this is a lot of noodle. Like, how this is supposed to work. Don't worry. This is the magic. I mean, not the magic, the wonder of stir fry. I was going to mix it with the chopstick, and then I realized I need to get the heavy duty homies out. So we're getting the weapons out. We ready. Hiya. And we start mixing. Okay, notice I'm doing a technique here. I flipped the spatula over, and I got the whatever. I got the spatula flipped over, and I got the other spatula folding it under. So I tuck and then boom, fold over. And what that's doing is allowing me to flip the chicken that's on the bottom with all the juices and seasoning and put it on top of the stir fry. So you keep doing that until it looks like this. You want it all to mix and mingle. So you want it to be brown, and throw some more oil in there, because by this time everything's dried up and it's starting to fry. Put some more of that fake, not the fake, the off-brand soy sauce in there. The one that's got a little more water to it. It doesn't have to be off-brand. You can get Kikkoman's if you think. But we're gonna throw some pepper on there. You can throw your seasoning. So this is the chicken packet from the ramen. We're gonna use like 3/4 of this, not even the whole thing. So I threw a lot in there, and then there's still gonna be a little bit left because I didn't want all that salt. You know what I'm saying? We already got soy sauce on here. And so we're gonna mix that in. That's gonna help our noodles get some flavoring of their own. Once that is done mixing, guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in and throw our fluffed up eggs. We're gonna chop them up a little bit more, scramble them a little bit more, and then we're gonna throw them in here. Now, don't worry, they'll get colored. They will take some of the soy sauce, depending on how much soy sauce you use, but they won't get fully immersed where they're non-existent. They're gonna show up and make your stir fry look like it's got eggs in it, rather than the noodles who are coated with egg yolk and then cooked. That was my first experience. So anyway, you mix this as well, get it going, and then, guys, once you're finished, you're finished. Okay. And what I like to do is I like to make sure I taste it, because, you know, you're the cook. And what's the point of cooking if you can't taste it? And then you remember it's scalding hot, and you have to breathe while you eat. So don't make that mistake unless you know how to eat hot food like I am right now. Tastes good to me. I'm going to put the cap on. I'm going to catch these noodles on the side. We don't want them to fall into the fire or anywhere else. We want to eat those guys. And boom. There it is, guys. You just made chicken stir fry. Now, if you didn't use chicken, that's fine, but I did. Enjoy. God bless.